It's time for another batch of new releases here at Roll for Crit. We've got some good ones for you for the week of October 14th, 2019.
We're starting off with Age of Dirt, a game of uncivilization. This is a worker placement game where you are all in this sort of caveman era, trying to send workers out to build up your civilization, but there's a little bit of a twist. Once you assign your workers, you'll actually put them through something similar to a dice tower called the Passage, where maybe your workers may reach their destination or may get stuck and may end up somewhere else when you drop meeples in a different place. So you're going to try your best to get your workers to the right spot in order to build up and get better equipment and buildings for your civilization. Call to Adventure has an expansion, the Call to Adventure Name of the Wind. This, of course, adds new cards, stories, and components of the game, but what's interesting is the entire expansion is based off a book series, The King Killer Chronicles. So a lot of the cards in there will refer to that book series. Era, Medieval Age, is supposed to be a sort of successor to Roll Through the Ages. When that was a roll and write, or the early concepts of one, Era Medieval Age is supposed to be a roll and build. You'll have dice for representing different workers in medieval times, but you'll be using them to actually get pieces of like walls, forts, actual little 3D models to build your own unique town. Funkoverse has their game now hitting store shelves. It's sort of, it can be either a team battle or 1v1 where you battle against each other in a bunch of different modes included in the game. Because this is Funkoverse, they have a lot of different properties. So you can expect to see Batman now, Rick and Morty, and of course, my personal favorite, Golden Girls. Then let's end off with Ghostbusters from me. Ghostbusters Blackout is a new game from IDW in which there was a huge blackout in New York City, and unfortunately this has released all the ghosts in the headquarters. It's now up to you to run around New York, rolling dice to not only capture ghosts, but also upgrade your equipment so you become better at capturing all the ghosts before true pandemonium starts.
Letter Jam is a new word-guessing game from Czech Games. Each player will have their own word made up of 5 letters that they're trying to guess, but they cannot see which letters that they have. They can only see all the other players' letters. So using clues that players give, they have to figure out what their letter is based on where the blanks are in their spaces versus what letters they can see that make up the words. There's a bit of creative word thinking and guessing going on there. Ninja Academy is a new one from Yellow Games. This is a dexterity game, and players are going to be ninjas trying to become the best ninja that they can by competing in different trials. Different things that could be different ways to stack some of the components, little meeples, maybe you have to balance them on your fingers even. Some outside the box, creative dexterity thinking. Some of it actually uses the box, so some of it is inside the box as well. Skulk Hollow is a new asymmetrical 2-player game, and this one has one player playing the role of these little fox creatures in a fantasy world. The other player is this giant guardian, and the fox player is trying to defeat the guardian. There are multiple different guardians in there, so depending on what you choose and who you're playing as, you may have a very different experience. Tales from the Loop has a brand new expansion. This is the role-playing game with the science fiction theme where you're playing as kids. In this new expansion, there are a bunch of brand new mysteries and adventures for people to solve. It's over 100 pages. It includes some time travel elements, as well as some other intriguing 80s themed things going on there. Toy Story has a brand new deck building game, Obstacles and Adventures. This is a takeoff from the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle deck building game. Similar gameplay where you'll be going through different movies from the Toy Story series, building your decks and fighting new enemies based on the stories of those films. And then Welcome to Dino World is in wide release now. This is a roll and write in which you are building a dinosaur park. You get to use dice to draw different lines and pens, and then fill those pens with little dinosaurs that you get to draw on your sheet, and try not to let them escape or eat anybody.
We've already played Letter Jam, you bought it, and definitely, I mean, we need to probably do a review eventually, but already I can say I enjoyed it a lot. I think one of its biggest issues, though, is definitely making sure you're with the right people. For the play group, it's one of those games that really, it could be a really turnoff for some people.
You got to have a word-minded group to play that game, definitely. We also played Funkoverse, and I was definitely surprised by how good of a game I thought it was. For, it's not just a Funko Pop cash-in. There is some interesting miniatures gameplay going on in there. And I also have a copy of Skulk Hollow from Kickstarter. I got that game.
That's right.
We haven't played it yet, but that was maybe a gamble on my part, because 2-player games are sometimes harder for us to get out, but the concept was really cool. It definitely reminded me of Shadow of the Colossus, that sort of thing. You actually like move onto a giant guy on his board,
right?
Which is cool. It's always a fun idea.
And the game I first started off with, the Dirt game, I think sounds really interesting because it's not simply just worker placement, but the way the passage, they call it, works is because you throw meeple in there and they can get stuck in there, but then the next time you throw more meeple in there, that might get them unstuck, so then all of a sudden you may have more workers somewhere. And it also sounds like there actually will be predator meeples in there, which could come out accidentally too. So I thought it's an interesting twist in the worker placement. We adds a bit more randomness, which may or may not for some people be a fun twist to that.
I like that. It reminded me of, it made me think of Camel Up. I'm sure it's very different, but it's always nice to have like some kind of a tactile, physical thing to play with in a game. I like when they're like toys.
I have not played the Harry Potter deck building game, but you did.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And outside, would you just say that was solid? Just it's deck building?
Yeah, it's fairly basic, but it has some twists in it. Each person had like their own character. You have health. It's fully cooperative. Okay. You're working together. So there's some interesting stuff in there. I've heard that the Toy Story one is maybe even simpler better for younger kids.
Right.
So that might be something that you want to check out. But yeah, I think solid, decent.
I would really love for them to actually do, because I think Kingdom Hearts would translate well into a deck building game because you can just hit every property. And since you could probably just avoid the story and just be like, you need to stop the Heartless. You don't have to worry about, you need to follow the movie script still.
Yeah, that could be interesting. It is kind of strange they picked Toy Story. I still don't know. Supposedly there are 6 boxes in there, but there's only 4 movies, so I don't know what the other 2 are.
Oh, there's the shorts.
I guess. You must be right. I don't know. Let us know if you've played Toy Story. What's in those boxes? Also, we want to hear from you as to which of these games you're interested in this week. I think there's definitely some very cool ones, ones that we've had fun playing already.
Did you pick up some of these already at Gen Con, or as Jonathan said, backed it on Kickstarter? Let us know, of course, in the comments down below.
Until then, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Will.
This is Roll for Crit.
Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and support us on Patreon. That would make us happy.
Maybe the next video is the one where Jonathan does a silly dance.